Good evening, everybody. It's today's Tuesday. That means it's time for the focus. Welcome, everyone. We got a lot to talk about today. We got Octavia Wyatt, Cardell Dudley, and Wilson Turpay Jr. Got Damo Rowe off to the right of me, off camera, but he's handling our social media, so shouts to him. All right, so the video you guys just saw, that was round 3 of Pitts Brunson. I wasn't there due to car difficulties. Man, group chats are fun. Can't say anything more than that. But Cardell, you were in the building.
Yeah.
How was round 3 of, all I know is the Pitts League went up 3-0. So tell us more about that, sir.
If this was the game, if it was a game for the Brunson to win, it was this one. Because Pitts were down most of the game until about early in the third quarter. I think the rain messed a lot of things up. The Pitts didn't have their full mob. Ojo, Massey couldn't make it. I think they're about an hour and 20 away on a normal day, with adding rush hour traffic and the rain. The rain was crazy. We could barely see. I mean, it was bad. So adding all that, it took them a couple hours, so they just couldn't make it. And the Brunson, they jumped out on, the Pitts League from the jump, they led by the, guards. The guards were just quick. They were aggressive on defense, pressing, but, Rob knew what he was doing. That's why you have veterans, because they don't get rattled with that. They just stuck to the plan, and, they played smart. And then, once J-Dub arrived in the second half, they gave him another score because Sweetie was going on. Chris was facilitating, controlling the pace, keeping them close. Baby Shaq was doing this thing in the post or whatnot. They just, they kind of weathered the storm. It's kind of like watching the Warriors in a sense where teams think they get up and they got it, the run is coming. And the run came, in the third quarter. I think early in the third, the Brunson was up 11. And then Pitts League started cutting the lead, putting the pressure on. Next thing you know, Brunson started feeling the pressure. And they started cracking air balls, turning the ball over, missed the times, and then Pitts just took them out. You know what I mean? We was joking with Rob. First half he was eating popcorn, he was down. Brunson was like, "You gotta get up out that seat, man." So he got up. They went to work, but it was Devin Sweetney's night. They really couldn't stop him all game. He finished with a game high 29 points. They won the game 74-65. J-Dub added 11 in the second half because he basically came at halftime. He didn't really play. And Chris Howard and Baby Shaq added 8 points each. Andre Jackson led the Brunson League with 13, and Terry Halsley and Aaron Davis added 11 and 10 points. Like I said, if it was a game for them to win, it was that one. Especially being in their home gym and their home crowd and all that. With some hecklers in there too. But I mean, you know what it is. But they imploded at the end. It is what it is. The pressure got to them, and air balls, threes, and next thing you know, Pitts League out and running. It was curtains after that.
Man, that's tough because that is the third consecutive loss
for
Pitts League in this matchup. If there is a round 4, if you say what it sounds like, by all accounts, if that was the game to win, that's going to come back to haunt them a little bit.
Definitely was.
Considering, as you said, they were missing some people. That's tough.
Exactly. So I don't know what to tell you, dog.
It's kind of like, I don't want to say give up, but because they've been in that position before. The first time he played them, that could have been their game to win too. The second one was kind of,
more decisive.
Exactly.
Nice way.
But the first one, we always joke about how it legit was, hey, it's somebody in the crowd here. You want to play? Because, unfortunately, things do happen where people, are supposed to be there, but, you can't control certain things. So they always have to play with who they have. And I think we might as well just go ahead and put it to rest that, this side of Maryland, I always say Baltimore is Baltimore, and then, this is Maryland, even though, it's two separate entities. We can go ahead and give it to the DMV. They got a little bit of, they got some talent out there. Don't get me wrong, they definitely do. But it's just it's been consecutive.
Look, it's a mid-90s first round sweep, baby.
Right. And look, y'all had
getting them up out of there.
Yeah, done.
I was all upset because of car issues. Y'all had me dying. You gave me life on Saturday, so thank you. And the social media, some of the posts between the two leagues, is all good and fun. It was also that was also pure
and
laughter.
Sean took it in fun, man. He put up the photos where the old dude was crying.
Yes.
That will forever be one of the best memes ever.
Man,
just know,
ever.
I remember actually watching that episode. I was like, what in the?
But I think you made a perfect segue talking about the DMV. Onto another area of DMV hoops.
I saw a good post about this too.
Cardell.
I mean, you could say we run the grassroots. It is what it is. So many teams from different age groups came home with championships from the AAU, whatever various AAU leagues, circuits, big time tournaments where they was in Vegas, where they was in Florida, the AAU showcase where they was on the Nike circuit, the Under Armour. You know, that's why I had to post it. Like, this is the greatest AAU summer that we've had. You know, of course, a lot of those who go, no, man, whatever, man. It wasn't that many teams back then, and it was one national championship, and I get it, you know. But with this many teams and, you know, the number of opportunities for various teams from different, you know, from this area, but different pockets of this area to do what they did on the men's and on the boys and girls side and come back with championships, it just speaks to the coaching and the development and the talent of the players, man. And I mean, you can't argue with the championship. Like, I don't care about all, you know, the little things. What happened, man? You know, you can have all these conspiracy theories. At the end of the day, they won it. So, you know, we talked about TakeOver a couple weeks ago when they won the Peach Jam. So we're gonna start this out with DC Premier for winning the Under Armour Association Championship. They beat the defending champs. We Are One, 62-57. A lot of people don't know We Are One. Kind of like on a Warriors type run, and they won the championship 3 of the last 4 years.
Oh wow, okay.
And so DC Premier knocked them off. Junior forward Ricky Lindo, who used to be at Wilson, he's at Northfield Mount Herman School. He posted 14 points on 5 of 9 shooting, 9 rebounds and 4 blocks. Maryland Turk commit Kyle Mitchell added a double with 10 points and 10 rebounds. And junior guard Sharif Kenny, who's at Brewster Academy, and has offers from your beloved UConn Huskies, West Virginia, Arizona State, finished with 13 points and 4 assists on 4 of 8 shooting from the field and 2 of 3 shooting from deep. I watched the game. It was online. To me, the defense won the game. You know, you could tell by the close score, 62-57. They held We Are One at 29% shooting for the game. Wow. Yeah, so and 23% shooting from deep. And they had one of the best point guards in America. And Isaiah Wong, I spoke about him before. He played in the DMV League. I think AAU showcase the beginning of AAU season, and he's a stud. Can nobody deal with him then? And he has his offers from UConn, Villanova, Miami, among others. They held him to 2 of 12 shooting and 0 assists.
They're out there playing.
They locked him up, and they held We Are One's forward Eric Dixon, who's a Villanova commit, to 2 of 8 shooting and 1 rebound. So they took out their 2 best players. I mean, enough said. That's why the old saying goes, defense wins championships. And also Premier out-rebounded We Are One 43-34 in the paint and won a blocks battle 12-3. So that tells you how active they were on defense. They had 12 blocks, right. And I don't want to just leave them. I'm going to move through quickly because we got other things we have to get to. But other championships, Team Takeover Girls finished the summer 48-2. They won the PSV Elite 32 championship. DC Premier won the same DC Premier team. They won the Vegas Fab 48 championship. So they took down 2 in the last week. They was on that grind. Team Takeover won the 8 championship once again. In the AAU Super Showcase 17 and under, the District Basketball Club won that championship. In the 16 and under, the same showcase, Team Durant won that. And in the 15 and under, Team Takeover won that.
Man.
I was going to say, because I saw this tweet this weekend too, and it was literally like somebody had said, attention all high school grassroots hoopers across the USA. If you don't live in the DMV and you won a major tournament this month, please DM me immediately before I post this report, because I can't find no wins for y'all out here. Yeah. And literally listed all of the teams you just stated, Team Takeover winning, like you said, all of those, Team Takeover, DC Premier, Team Durant, all of them, and I was just sitting there like, wow.
It was dominant.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to.
There's nothing else to say. That sounds like a mic drop. There's nothing else to say after that.
Mic drop, kick it off the stage.
Walk away, don't come back.
Seriously. You don't want to hear no more Mecca? No.
Yep.
Stop. I mean, we got the Finals MVP out here, and come on, we don't want to hear that. Like, come on, man.
It's hard to, it's hard to present arguments to results, and it's a results-based business.
Yep.
Somebody can take issue with it. You got next tournament to try to, change that. But as this year goes, shout out to those young ladies and men from the DMV for holding things down. We're going to take a quick break. And again, want to thank Jamal Hayward in advance for this week's breakdown. Cardell, what is the move this week? I just don't have it up. I'm sorry.
I thought you had it up.
I don't at the moment. I'm sorry. I got like 15 tabs out here. It's bad.
Just know it's a good move, y'all.
Yeah.
Actually, I do have it. I'll take it back. I'm so sorry. I do have it. It is. I do not have it. Oh my goodness. I can't find anything. This is wonderful.
Stop and go hesitation move. Breakdown.
I have too many emails. I got like 19,000 emails. Probably should try to clean that up a little bit.
Maybe.
Just a little bit. But again, shout out to Jamal Hayward, Cardell. Thank you for saving me for this week's 9-4-50 breakdown. We'll see you guys on the other side of the break. It's Focus TV.
Stop and go. All right. So again. Now, couple things. Go. Bring your hands to the ball. Okay? Like about to shoot. So here, go. 6. Layup. Stop and go. All right. So again. Now, couple things. Go. Bring your hands to the ball. Okay? Like about to shoot. So here, go. 6. Layup.
Again, welcome back to the Focus TV. Want to thank Jamal Hayward and 9-4-50 yet again for another great move for this week's breakdown. It's been a fun series. I know Trav's watching somewhere, so hopefully, you can get this move down. Cardell, he said thanks because he likes you guys playing it back to back. He was like 2 moves ago. He needed the second view.
Hey, man, I hope he ain't playing at that gym down in Loudoun County.
Nah, he's out in Minnesota.
They call cops on you for a hard foul.
Man.
You're not going to get into that, but stay away from that gym. That's terrible.
It's like the opposite side of all that DMV excellence we were talking about.
Hey,
Basketball a little earlier, but
that's
that was
not the
hilarious.
DMV, that's other side of Virginia. We don't play
gonna
that.
just throw that out
Yeah.
All right, man. Sticking with basketball, the WNBA All-Star Weekend was this past weekend. Shout out to all those media members that made it out to Minnesota. Looked like it was a great time. Allie Quigley, not really surprised here, has a clip. There's a reason she's been doing what she's been doing for so long in the league. She won a 3-point shootout, recorded crazy numbers back to back. Then in the All-Star game, this is the first year the women did kind of the men's model of the picking teams with the All-Stars. Team Parker outlasted Team Deladon 119-112, courtesy of a big third quarter from Team Parker. Maya Moore won her 3rd consecutive All-Star MVP. That puts her in rare air. She now joins Lisa Leslie as the only other 3-time All-Star Game MVP.
I would say they might just give it to her every year now. She out here killing.
She also passed the great Tamika Catchings in scoring for the All-Star Game. Tamika was at 108. Maya has eclipsed that. And obviously, with her current age, it's fair to assume that she's going to put some distance between that number between now and, the next coming years. All right, with the Mystics, they're currently playing Atlanta. This is a team they struggled with twice this year already. At the moment, though, which is important because they need the win, the Mystics are currently 7th in the league. Again, the WNBA playoffs are different than the men's. It's not about the conferences. The best 8 teams make the playoffs. It's pretty much what it is. The Mystics are currently up by 10. They went down early. They lead 62-52 at the moment. So that is great news from them. They come back home. We talked about the long road trip they had. After tonight's game, they come back home to host the Aces. But again, after tonight's game, there's only 8 games left in the regular season. WNBA season is very compressed. It moves very, very quickly. August 19th is officially the last day of this year's regular season. That's like give or take 2 weeks. This thing's wrapped up and the playoffs begin. I mean, how do you feel about the Mystics right now? They're currently sitting at 7th. How much work you feel needs to be done to make sure they
just strap up. We keep talking about just strap up and play your game. I see they're on top of the Dream, second in the league right now. I see Deladon doing what she does, 22-10. They needed Natasha back.
Yeah.
Her being out the last couple games kind of threw them off. Having a big point guard, she's the best facilitator. Vision, and then defensively. She do so many things well that when she's not in there, it makes it, makes them more predictable for opponents to deal with. Basically double Deladon and just keep an eye on who may get hot and then slow them down, and that's it. But with Natasha, they have more size and on the perimeter, and obviously more length to bother the teams defensively. And like I said, she does little things like she'll go get the rebound and the ball's already in her hands.
Yep. And
if she's their best playmaker, she finds guys with easy buckets. So they really needed her. I'm glad she's healed up from the concussion, and it's proven. She's showing right now. She has 11. She has 11, 3 and 2 right now. 21 minutes. So and they're up double digits. So just play great defense, man. And then they move up. What are they? A couple games out of like second right now.
Yeah.
So it's not like they're far behind. Just handle business, and they should be able to get some type of home court, which we've been banking on all season.
Yep.
So that way they can make a deep run and they can be at home and, go from there, man. They right there, man. They right on the verge. It's just up to them to bring that defensive intensity night in, night out.
You're so right. And to talk about just how hot Atlanta's been, they're on an 8-game win streak.
Right.
This team, they started slow. They found their stride, and it's been on ever since. As Cardell said, the Mystics are exactly 4.5 games out of first place. It's very close.
Very doable.
Yes, very, very doable. And as you said, the whole thing all season about them has been defense and rebound, and it's not going to change.
Right now, look, they holding the Dream to 38% shooting from on the field and 7% shooting from deep.
That's crazy because the last 2 times they
7%.
Well, I know the last time they played here, the Dream
You
went
didn't say 70,
nuts.
you said 7.
7.7 to be exact.
I was like, 7?
And they got a lot of knockdown shooters over. They got a lot of shooters that can get hot. Just say when they get hot, we've seen that before too. So kudos to Washington, man. It's not a bad time of year to get to take care of the little things and get on a run, to be able to go on a run. So kudos to them. And then sitting atop the league at the moment, the Seattle Storm, 19-7. Literally the only team with a little bit of cushion.
And the ageless wonder, man.
The
ageless wonder, Sue Bird, man. Just setting the table for Lloyd and Bree, man. It is what it is, man.
You
got to crack that cheat code, so.
You got the vets in Minnesota after looking dead early on.
They're
on a 3-game win streak. A couple weeks ago, they were like 7th. People talking about their demise, woke them up. It's gonna be a fun end to the season.
They woke Maya. Maya just said,
there you go.
This. We come on. We don't make the playoffs. Y'all better ask somebody.
We do this. There's a reason.
Yeah, exactly.
So we're going to keep you guys updated. Get over to finestmag.com, momanosports.com this week. Because WNBA coverage is they're going to be back in town. We're going to have some more stuff for you guys as well. We're going to take a quick break. When we get back, some DC United, then we got a special segment today. And then obviously, what's a show without rapid fire? We can't do this without Cardell putting us on the hot seat with some interesting questions. You're watching the Focus TV. We'll be right back. Welcome back. As promised, gonna get to this DC United segment. The Black and Red beat the visiting Colorado Rapids this past Saturday 2-1. Kellen Acosta, as I mentioned last week, he had just recently been traded to the Rapids. He got a penalty kick in the 24th minute, an opportunity to put his team ahead. It's hard to be the road team in MLS and secure results. That opportunity was thwarted by David Ousted. He guessed the right way, and he blocked the penalty kick. Later in the first half, Zoltan Steiber finds Luciano Acosta, and he plays a beautiful through ball to Wayne Rooney, and Rooney just shows you exactly why he's one of England's greatest goal scorers, puts it away oh so calmly to give DC United the 1-0 lead and open his official scoring account for the black and red. You know, they created other chances throughout the game as DC United. They just failed to capitalize on them. They've been creating chances over the past couple games. It's about finishing. Cruising with the 1-0 lead, DC United, their undoing, of course, came on a backwards pass. It was, possession was won by Colorado. Kellen Acosta ran into the box, found himself a space, and displayed beautiful touch. They tripped a rushing David Ousted. They tripped the ball over him. Steven Birnbaum, jumped to try to get ahead on it. Fell a little. He just missed it. Ball falls in the net. All the air. You can see all the air kind of come outy at that moment because now it's 1-1. You're thinking about last week. You're thinking about the fact that this team has been up multiple times this year and not finished the deal. But later in the game, literally, like 88th minute type late, 89th minute to be exact, Ulysses Segura, coming to game as a sub, gets the ball in the box. He just did something you're taught when you're young. Sometimes you got to just put the ball in dangerous spaces and you hope for the best. He played the ball in, didn't look like he had a great shot at it. Colorado Rapids defender slid to try to block it. It inadvertently hit his head. The ball got past Tim Howard. Goal DC United. They get out of it with the result, which means 3 points in the standings. Little by little, they got to, all the results count. Their next match is on the road this weekend. They go up to Montreal. A lot of folks who didn't know Wayne Rooney got elbowed, well, not like headbutted in the face almost, in the 90th minute, or like in stoppage time, maybe the 92nd minute. A Colorado Rapids player went up for a header. He hit his own teammate. His teammate then, the back of his head hit Wayne Rooney, split Wayne Rooney's face open. Looked like, I don't know if it was a broken nose or whatnot, but he needed 5 stitches. Saw him this morning at open training. Yeah, he's a tough guy. He's fine. There's obviously some wear and tear on his face. You can see what happened. Also, we got a chance to talk to Rasul Khanuus. It was great. He's been back. Started the year kind of rehabbing. He played his first full 90 minutes this past week against Colorado. So I look forward to sharing that with you guys. As always, keep up with us. And, we try to do our best to give you guys some exclusive content here and there. So, Cardell, we had a fun text exchange about some things that we wanted to talk about on tonight's show. Move some things around. This is where it's fun having your own platform. You can do that. We control the show plan. Like, we got power. So, Octavia, as we told you, we're going to talk about this. First, want to congratulate Mr. LeBron James, first and foremost, this is an amazing accomplishment.
Hell yeah.
What he's done from day one since he got drafted to the Cavaliers. He's been very active in his community. He's always made it a big deal. Not a big deal, but he's shown how important the youth is to him. So people don't have to go through what he went through on his way up, trying to make it better for those that follow, which is all you can ask out of anyone. And kudos to him, set to open his school. And this is what he's offering, man. We got free tuition, free uniforms. Every student gets a free bike and helmet, free transportation within 2 miles, free breakfast, lunch, and snacks, food pantry for families, GEDs and job placement services for parents, guaranteed tuition to the University of Akron for every student who graduates. This is huge stuff right here. Monumental, and I want to give him, the praise that he deserves on this. And another nugget, the school's initially, this year, is going to be open to 243rd and 4th graders. They plan to expand year by year, I think 2 grades at a time. So, next year, the goal is to add the 2nd and 5th grades until, they're going to keep adding like that until they have grades 1 through 8 by 2022. The hope is that up to 1,200, at least 1,200 children pass through the program and on to college by 2029. It's a big time endeavor. Kudos to him, his foundation, everybody involved for getting this done.
And the biggest part that I love out of that, the GEDs and job placements for the parents.
Yes.
So the kids don't feel all that pressure. I gotta make it. They can just focus and exhale sometimes, and it takes less stress off. The household, the family, got jobs and stuff what he's doing is huge. I just kind of wish he was even more where he could spread throughout the country. But whatever. That's not a criticism. It's just a honest truth of how far we got to go.
There's nothing wrong with wishing that more had the ability to do what he's doing. There's nothing wrong with that.
And that's the biggest part, with that. And we're going to get into it more about other athletes doing the same thing. that's the biggest thing about what he's done is going to inspire more kids. Where kind of like when Obama got in office, how the next generation going to feel like, well, that's clockwork to become president. That's not impossible. We're going to go for that. So as they emerge as athletes or entertainers, you know, come into a lot of money, they're going to feel like, you know what, that's clockwork to open the schools and stuff, take matters in our own hands and help our own community.
Yep.
And that's the biggest inspiration that I get out of it.
Man, it's huge. And the other thing, and this is here where our issue is with, again, it's not with LeBron and what he's done. I want to make that clear because people these days have a hard time listening to words that come out of people's mouths.
They hear you.
But they don't
but they
comprehend.
don't listen.
You remember your parents used to say that? You didn't really get it until you was older. There's a difference. So we want people to hold the media accountable for they're quick. Anytime an athlete does wrong, we hear it from every media outlet. Whether it's unfounded or not, whether it's confirmed or not, we hear about it. We've heard about LeBron with the school, and it's tremendous. Also, I feel like just from a journalistic standpoint, people took the easy way out of this by if you bring up LeBron's school, you should bring up other athletes that have done similar things to help their communities to get to this point. I think it's poor to tell a story by starting at the end.
Right.
It's just not the right thing to do. So what we're going to do today with our little platform right here, we're going to introduce some other athletes doing great things that deserve to be acknowledged and commended for what they're doing. And secondly, it's crazy where athletes are almost held to a higher standard for what they don't get paid to do than folks in elected offices, which their prime directive is supposed to be doing these things.
And we're going to get into it, but with the elections coming up, that's going to deeply affect what's going on down in D.C. and at the White House down the line. This is a must-see. That's why I want people to tune in and really get informed about what's going on. Because these guys are putting pressure on these politicians to handle their business. And it should make us, the athletes handling their business.
Why can't we?
Why ain't y'all doing it? Y'all got to do is sign a bill and the funding just come. So
they taking time out their lives and their own means to do this for other folks, where your directive is literally to look out for said folks.
Right.
So, Cardell, where you want to start?
I could just go ahead and get
Go ahead, you get to it and I'll follow up.
And just some notable athletes that kind of done things similar to what LeBron has done in the past. Jalen Rose.
Yes.
He started the Jalen Rose Leadership Academy in 2011, which is a charter school in his hometown of Detroit. With that being said, he doesn't, let's say he's not as famous as LeBron. He was never the player that LeBron was. And once again, we got to put disclaimers out there these days because people are sensitive. It has nothing to do with LeBron. It's lazy media and people who just take it and run with it. Okay? With him having a charter school and not being, as you said, at that level, he don't have the resources that, say, a LeBron James do. Not within himself, his bank account, or just be able to make a call, get sponsorships to fund everything. So what he does is he just asks people to donate, and he gets donations. Obviously, being an NBA player, he got connections. And a lot of people have pitched in over the years and helped keep that thing alive. And he was kind of the first that I kind of saw, and I was like, this is big. But I remember when he did it, all he really got was an article in ESPN.
It was a dry article at that.
Exactly.
And a courtesy
So it wasn't nothing big, but he's been doing it all the time. I love him and Jalen Jacoby. That's my favorite podcast outside our own. So I listen to that, and he has to kind of always put that out there, like, man, go ahead and donate if you can and stuff like that, because it's benefiting the kids. Like, they just really graduated, I think, their first batch of college kids a couple years ago. So they're about to be in their sophomore and junior year. So he's getting ready to see these kids graduate college, and that's humongous. And we all know the trials and tribulations of what's going on in Detroit and surrounding areas. They, I forgot the name of the city with the water situation. Flint is not too far from Detroit. So they got the water situation. So the fact that he's pitching back, going back and just lending a helping hand and helping these kids out, and he's been doing it longer without the resources. That needs to be commended as well. David Robinson, in 2001, he opened an IDEA Carver Academy in San Antonio, which is a Christian school. Same thing, just basically instilling the values that he carried with him throughout his life, being military and all that stuff like that. And he's just trying to apply it to the same kids. Lord knows the Dikembe Mutombo, man, what he's doing. I mean, he built a whole hospital in the Congo. But people don't talk about it enough because I guess that's not in America. Like, what's the problem?
300-bed hospital in which what they're doing is they're screening women for cervical cancer. Over 14,000 women have been screened.
Right. And he was motivated to do that because in 1997, his mom died because she couldn't get to the hospital. And not only that, his father was going to try to just go get her out the car, just bring her. And the hospital wouldn't allow him to bring her, so she just died. That's when sparked his motivation. Oh no, we're going to end this. We're going to build a hospital where we won't have to worry about this anymore. We can save lives. And not to mention, we all know about the disease that HIV is rampant in Africa and all that. What he's doing, that's incredible. And even Kevin Johnson, a former mayor of Sacramento, he opened a school. He took over school, St. Hope School, in 2003. And somebody told me that yesterday. I didn't even hear about that. And this is a former NBA All-Star. These are things that need to be commended because, like you said, people are quick to jump on if they was beating on a woman, DUIs, anything. If they was tripping, that would be front page news.
Like, you don't even have to search on your timeline. It's just there.
Right.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
You open your phone. Oh, look what so-and-so did.
And it comes from the most
good. Nah, we ain't got
and it comes from the most random like sites too. Like it'll be like a site that covers something completely different. Like they probably don't even follow sports, but as soon as an athlete does something outside of that they're not supposed to do, they're the first ones like, oh, and this basketball player did this football player did this baseball player did this, but never report on anything else.
Right.
And that's all we really ask for is we just want to hold the media accountable.
Right.
Like that's literally it. Again, just another disclaimer in case you're not comprehending what we're trying to say. If you have time, if you can and as Octavia brought up a great point, all these outlets that have nothing to do with sports can report when athletes get in trouble or do the wrong thing.
No, but we need to call out the outlets that do have something to do with sports.
Yes.
They're irresponsible as well. 'Cause I was reading articles where they were saying LeBron James is the most socially conscious athlete of the generation. Once again, this is not a shot at LeBron because he definitely is up there.
Yes.
But how are we just going to ignore what Colin Kaepernick did? He paid the ultimate. It's a difference between giving back and paying the ultimate price, which your livelihood.
That's what I was going to say too, because although there are a lot of players that, like you said, don't have LeBron James resources, it may not be able to do as much as LeBron is doing with this school. There are so many players that are out there that are giving everything that they have to do something for the community. I always think about, I can't even think of his name right now, but the guy that played for the Eagles that gave up his entire season, his entire season check, all season long, and donated it back to he donated it to various schools. I know he gave back towards his school. I think his school went to, I can't remember. I think he went to school in Annapolis too. I'm not sure.
And people try to trivialize it.
Exactly. So that's what I'm saying. Like as many things that all of these athletes do outside of playing their sport, it doesn't get enough pub. It doesn't get enough attention. It doesn't get enough recognition. It doesn't get enough thanks, from the people that are supposed to be getting this information to the public. Because like you said, it's a lot of people that didn't even know half the stuff you just said. And that's no fault of their own, because a lot of times they're not going to go out and research and say, hey, did Dikembe Mutombo build a hospital?
And that's it. We get right here on your phone. Everybody on their phone every day. Just Google. It's right there. And they won't even do that. It'll take 2 seconds. And so, of course, I got bombarded with messages about, Michael Jordan and stuff like that. He don't do anything for the community. And I'm just getting really just, like, this is old. Even stuff about him, there was a politician in Oregon named Michael Jordan that was investing in prisons. People for years to this day still think that's Michael Jordan, the basketball player. I'm like, that's not him, man. But I'm going to just put all these information out there so that people are aware of everything he does. Just because he don't speak on it does not mean he's not active in doing handling his business. And that's the best part, though.
Huh? That's the best part. The fact that he doesn't feel he's not doing it for attention. He's not doing it for likes and Instagram follows and stuff like that. He's doing it out because he wants to. LeBron is doing. Exactly, not saying that at all.
Again, because comprehension today, please, Lord.
But just that he's not trying to be in the spotlight. But at the same time, nobody is even covering the fact that he's doing it. So it's not like he's asking for. He's doing it out of the goodness of his heart. But
I was taught growing up the real move in silence anyway.
That's my point. That's exactly why I brought it up. Like, I always say the loudest one in the room is the weakest one in the room. So if you're running around screaming, I'm doing this and I'm doing that, you're not really doing it for the right reasons. You should just be doing it because it's the right thing to do. And you can. But
exactly. And that's why we're saying this has nothing to do with LeBron, because he's not the one doing it.
Exactly.
It's the people using his momentum and his name to feed their own agenda and narratives and stuff like that, which is trifling. Just for clicks and views, which generates money. I mean, I'm literally seeing people retweet this. This is why he's the greatest basketball player ever. This has nothing to do with your performance on the court, because look, we just named all-time great. Like Jalen Rose opened the school. I mean, so does that make him better than, say, another small forward? Like, does that make him better than Greek Freak or Kevin Durant? Does that, do we need to go down the line? Larry Bird, because he opened the schools, he better than him? No. So please don't use that narrative. But I'm gonna just throw some things out there about Mike so people can really understand what he's doing quietly. I'm gonna just start locally. When he played with the Wizards, he played for free. He gave his salary to the 9/11 situation to help him in D.C. and New York. So he literally played for free. He had surgery. He had nothing else to prove, but he did that on his own. I don't need the money. We gonna help people out, okay? Another one, in 2012, he endorsed Barack Obama and had a $3 million fundraiser so he can get the money in the back end to continue to run. Otherwise, we might be looking at year 6 of dealing with this Republican administration that's currently messing up the country. You see what I'm saying? But no one speaks on that. And he also donated thousands to Obama's Senate run back in 2004. People didn't even know who Barack Obama was. Now, I knew through rap circles because I'm a Common fan, and I know all the Chicago rappers was high on Obama then. So, and obviously Mike being a Chicago legend, he knew. So he backed him up so he can run for the Senate. No one ever really knew that. Okay. Another one. The new National Museum of African American History that opened. The museum was supposed to be open back, I think, about 2013, 2014. All of a sudden, they couldn't get the funding. The government stopped funding it. A lot of people funded it. Michael Jordan donated $5 million to keep it going. Just go ahead. I don't even know if he's been yet, but he put up $5 million to keep it so it can open. And if you've never been to that museum, you must go. It will
more than once.
You can't do it in one day.
Exactly. I have to go back.
You have to go back. You can't do it in one day because it's going to. And the first 2 levels were shot. Man, look.
Yeah, you got to do like the first 2 levels like
that's
one day. Yeah,
exactly.
you can't do too much on that day. It'll take you there.
So that's how important it was for that museum. So opening that museum also helped people get jobs that weren't necessarily there. See how it's a trickle-down effect, but Michael Jordan don't do anything, according to some people. Okay. Jordan Brand Wing Scholarship Program has given over 200 students full rides to college since 2015. Wings has sent hundreds of students to approximately 65 different colleges and universities around the country. The program has also gone global, expanding to China and extending scholarships even to high schools in China. In the United States, Wings joined forces with 23 community partners in 5 different cities: Portland, Oregon, Philadelphia, Los Angeles, New York, and Chicago, where the program has continued to support Little Black Pearls. Jordan is also working with middle school students on the south side of Chicago through a nonprofit called Triple Threat Mentoring. Jordan Brand also brings on Wings interns to work at Nike's global headquarters in Oregon. So you coming up in the Jordan Brand Wings Scholarship Program, and then if you keep handling your business, you get to college, you automatically get an internship at Nike headquarters. That's a hell of a resume.
That's
before
dope.
You get started.
I need to go do it.
Exactly. Okay. Jordan, who's also been involved with the Bobcats Hornets franchise since 2006, donated $7 million to Charlotte area medical clinics in at-risk areas of Charlotte. Obviously, AIDS, cancer, a lot of diseases are affecting us in those communities. He donated $7 million just to help that. Okay. We're going to continue. So I just want to get everything out there so people can really understand what's going on. Okay. A lot of people don't understand. He hired Spike Lee. With Michael Jordan's first commercial with Spike Lee, an unknown director. So he brought him on because he saw a movie clip where Spike Lee was, she's got to have it when I had on his shoes. And he was, doing this thing with a lady. And she was like, take your shoes out. He was like, nah. So he messed with that. That's what won him over. But the powers that be that were behind Jordan and Nike, like, no, you need to go to Madison Avenue and get somebody, a more well-known director, quote unquote. We know what that means. White director. He said, no, I'm going to roll with the brother. Now, we all know what Spike Lee became. And not to mention that, when he started filming Malcolm X, the Warner Brothers stopped funding that. Because they felt uncomfortable funding that movie. They faced a lot of backlash. It was a lot of criticism with that movie. So Spike Lee hollered at a few people: Michael, Magic Johnson, Oprah, Bill Cosby, Janet Jackson, Prince, Peggy Cooper, who's the founder of the Duke Ellington School of Arts in D.C. They all joined forces for that $7 million so the funding can stop so the movie can be made. Now look at all the actors that Spike Lee had in their careers had sparked from just being with, Spike Lee, the Denzels, the Halle Berrys. I mean, Wesley Snipes, we can go on and on. Legends in the game of acting. And now directing as they get older. All that started because Michael Jordan gave a brother a chance to direct his shoe commercial, and he could have messed it up, which would have messed up sales and all that. Like, no, let's roll with it, okay? And I'm not even gonna mention all the countless charities that Jordan donates to and all that. These are things that Jordan has done. So stop saying he's done nothing for us because he don't speak out. And I'm the man like this. I don't care. You can speak out all you want, but if you ain't put no action behind it, what good is it?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm looking more at that action. That speaks more volumes. That speaks how, because it's funny how people can criticize other people what they choose to do with the money in their bank account. Man, look, donating $7 million ain't easy. I don't care how much money you got, man.
Some people can't come over 5 or 10.
Right, I'm not trying to let go of $7.
Exactly.
Let's keep it honest. So giving is giving. It should be commended.
Exactly. So stop using other people when they have their moment because that's who you feeling at the moment or whatever. That's what your narrative is based on. Stop using that momentum to tear other people down. That's ignorant. It's a bigger issue at hand. What we should be doing is celebrating all these athletes for what they're doing because we need even more athletes to do it because I don't understand. I don't know if people realize it's still a hard fight going on out here. We look what's going on, man. It's a mess right now. It's like you literally got to watch your back. They really trying to bring back the 50s and 60s because of this ignorant administration that's in the White House right now. So don't use LeBron to tear down Mike and everything like that. Even Jordan, man, let that go. Celebrate each athlete for their accomplishment and give it the same type of hype and praise that you just gave LeBron James because it all needs to be commended. So the youth that's coming up see, all right, bam, that's how we should be. Mm-hmm. It's automatic. Just like King and X and all them, whatever, they grew up, they was reading stories on Harriet Tubman and Frederick Douglass that inspired them. Just like when they did their thing, they inspired the Panthers, just like the Panthers, they inspired people moving forward, you know, Jesse Jackson, Rainbow Coalition, all that, to the point we got to Obama and he became the president. That's all I'm saying.
Man, you're not asking too much. To add on to this list, because we're not going to let you guys get off that easy. Tina Charles, we talk about the WNBA and their pay scale and the lack of all the time. Because, you know, they got a CBA coming up and hopefully they can get things done because, you know, the NBA to get closer to 50%, WNBA is getting like 20% of that revenue. So, you know, that's kind of a big difference. I know some of y'all don't care. Some of y'all don't hear what they're saying. They're talking about a bigger cut of what's out there, of their specific pie. They know they're not getting NBA money because they know what their league's missing. I implore all of you, get on Google. Candace Parker had a great answer to that whole pay scale thing. She talked about where the NBA was 20 years in. You know, you bring this up quite a bit.
All the time. They was not getting paid a lot of money.
And she was talking about
working.
Exactly why it's important with this coming up. And all she cares about is that they make strides going forward. It doesn't have to happen under her watch. And that's kind of the same mindset of those had back then about long as we can see progress, those later can fly. We just want to get this start and eventually walk, run, and they can enjoy it. And you're seeing the guys eat off that right now. But back to Tina Charles, is a former league MVP. In 2011, she paid $32,000 out of her own money to underwrite the construction of a school in Ganali, Mali. 3 classrooms that can accommodate up to 150 elementary school kids, and it's also used for adult literacy classes in the evening. This is in 2011. Prior to that school, she donated athletic shoes purchased from Nike, because this isn't the men where Nike's throwing that
giving
in
them
there.
to you.
just want to get that point straight. She donated shoes that were purchased from Nike's for girls and boys sports at St. Jago High School in Spanish Town, St. Catherine, Jamaica. In 2013, 2013, she gave $7,275 to the West Leonard Heart Foundation. If you guys been aware, recently over the past few years, a lot of young athletes have been dying, you know, passing out, hearts have been stopping. So she chose to combat this. And that went to the West Leonard Heart Foundation. And then her foundation is called Hopi's Heart. It's founded in 2013 after the passing of her aunt, Maureen Hopi Vaz. So this is, she passed due to heart failure. But again, what Tina is focusing on is sudden cardiac arrest, that's SCA. Approximately 6,000 to 8,000 children experience SCA, and 25% of those that experience it happen in athletic events. That's a huge number. And what's crazy is you would think most schools and universities and things of that nature, that they're prepared to deal with it. They're not. Their requirements is kind of like your bare minimum is to have someone on staff that knows CPR, and that's it. That's not nearly enough. It's just not enough. You would think with this country, you have enough money, you'd want to make sure that that doesn't happen on anybody's watch, somebody's child. So she decided, this is what her foundation does, they purchase AEDs, these automated external defibrillators, to help kids in these situations, to help people in these situations. She's donated portions of her salary over the years. Again, they don't make a lot of money. For a couple years, she donated her entire salary to this cause. Just as you said, want to bring up and acknowledge these athletes doing this. And again, I think one of the things that bothered me a lot were people trying to compare the giving.
Yeah.
Like
Giving
y'all,
is giving, yeah.
Y'all gotta stop. Giving is
got.
giving. They're doing something more than you're probably doing.
That's
all you're doing is criticizing.
I was like, that's the thing that it to really like bothers me at times. It's always the people that aren't doing anything that's criticizing what people are doing. Like you said, she doesn't make that much. We all know that, there's a big discrepancy between the pay scales in the men's and the women's leagues, period. So the fact that she was able to give up $7,000 is a lot. The fact that she was able to donate her whole salary and build all these different places, different things, and put all, and you always got to think about too the thought process behind these things. Like, these people have these thought processes to say, hey, this has been happening to kids. What can I do to kind of like alleviate some of it? I may not be able to fix everything by myself, but at least, like you said, get the ball rolling, do something that will help. Because a lot of people probably never even thought about that. So you got to give them kudos for even having that thought process and know, like, you know what? I have the means to do this. Mm-hmm. Let me go ahead and knock this out. Let me go ahead and do this.
Since 2013, her organization, Hope Start, has placed 330 defibrillators around the world. 330.
And they barely give you current news about what's going on the court.
Exactly.
So how are we going? You see what I'm saying? How are we media get?
I must say, because a lot of people want to know that. Exactly.
And this is what I'm saying. Here's another one closer to home. TRP, Tara Ruffin Pratt. She started a foundation 2 years ago, in December 6, 2016. It's called the TRP Foundation. She started this. If you guys don't know about her, her family suffered 2 losses due to gun violence. I'm not going to get into specifics at all, but the mission is to provide hope to the youth, with encouraging environment and access to the tools needed to build a promising future. And again, it's just started, but they've already had 2 Stop the Violence Community Days. She's from the Alexandria area, went to TC Williams, played at University of North Carolina, got to the WNBA, way of undrafted. So again, going back to that pay scale, you're undrafted, hanging in the league year by year, working to secure a roster spot, and she's choosing to do this with her time. Like, y'all have to do better. That same
energy for everybody.
And that's all we're asking is, for whatever reason, people hold athletes to a ridiculously high standard in this country. And that being said, if we can fall and trip over ourselves when they do something wrong, even when it's not proven, that brings the same energy to fall and trip over yourselves when they have a charity event going on, when they have a community event going on. Because if you're a beat writer, you cover the team, don't tell me you don't know about it.
Yeah, we get the email home.
I'm dead serious though. Like, you got X amount of people covering the NBA, covering the NFL, covering the WNBA.
Like, we went to the John Wall jump. We out there, I'm out there shooting ball. All of the little kids brought me in the game, but and he came out there, it was hot as hell. It wasn't nearly as many reporters out there as it would.
Yeah, compare that to like a press conference like last week or something. Everybody's there. And that's all we're asking is, if you're going to jump out there, have the same energy to do both. Media do better.
Exactly. I mean, and not just sports media. I see CNN. I'm like, man.
Yeah, that's what I mean too. Like, when I say like the people that don't like just cover sports, like not the ESPNs and the Bleacher Reports and all of that stuff. I mean, like CNN that's covering world news, and they are not covering this, but their anchors are on there talking about LeBron need to shut up and dribble basketball. Right. You see, it's like they pick and choose when they want to talk about him. Now he's doing something that is life-changing for a lot of people in Ohio, and the only time you really see it is people sharing it on Facebook.
Even then, maybe you might get a quick 20 or 30-second clip or whatever, but how many times do we see ESPN clips like, retweeted, reshared on Facebook for just stupid debates on an everyday basis? So,
GOAT debates and stuff like this.
I see that every day.
And it's just annoying. That it's
if you can find that stuff, you can find this. So we want to thank y'all for tuning in. And again, go to finestmag.com, mymonosports.com. Definitely a good one. And again, I hope that you guys, took some time, listen to the words coming out of my mouth. No one's knocking LeBron again. Last disclaimer. We just want
What he did was amazing, guys. It was amazing. Especially with everything you said, like free, like, I wish I was in the
Like, and all we're saying is bring the same energy to each and every athlete because they're doing something that doesn't have to be done. Because if you're in that situation while you're judging and you know, criticizing everything else, would you come off any of your money at time?
And then y'all acting like LeBron ain't got 3 kids that he still got to support to go all the way, you know, growing up, and he's still sitting here giving back to other people's kids.
Just saying, man, take the time and the same energy you have. Like, and again, media just have to do better.
And share that praise to all the athletes, women, all that, man. They do something, they step out there in zones, do something that they don't have to do. Bring that same media attention.
It's not that hard. Like just to go back real quick, you know, a lot of people got on when the NBA players are wearing shirts for, you know,
can't breathe.
Yes,
Eric Garner.
Yeah, and I commend them for that. We had one of the first video with the WNBA players doing it in the Mystics locker room.
They did it
you know,
first.
they started that off, and nobody had the same energy with it. And all we're saying is, you can help a message get through just by doing your job. Media, just doing your job, just literally doing your job. You ignored the picture. You had post game comments and all that stuff to post. Silly me, I think that's a big deal.
And that's why a lot of athletes don't like the media.
Look, man.
It's too flaky.
That's exactly true.
But we're gonna see you guys next week, same time, same place.